All right, Navajo Nighthawks, here we go with Module 1, Lesson 12. So in Lesson 11, we started doing some addition, multi-digit addition problems using our standard algorithm. Today we're going to continue that, but we're also going to be solving multi-step word problems using that standard algorithm and modeling it with a tape diagram. Okay, so same idea with our addition, but instead of it just giving us the problem, we're going to have to pull out what is it that we're going to have to do. What are we solving from the word problem? So our first one says the City Flower Shop sold 14,594 pink roses on Valentine's Day. They sold 7,857 more red roses than pink roses. How many pink and red roses did the City Flower Shop sell all together on Valentine's Day? So this tape diagram is going to look a little bit different. When we use our four squares and interventions and small groups, this is that step 3 box where if you were to draw a picture or diagram to kind of show and represent your problem, this is what it would look like. Okay, so it told us that we have pink roses and red roses. We know that our pink roses were 14,594. So this is 14,594. And then our red roses were the same as the pink roses, but they sold 7,857 more. Okay, I'll draw this a little bit bigger for you guys. So we have our pink and our red. We have 14,594. We know that they sold the same amount of pink roses, but they also sold more. So they sold 7,857 more than the pink. So we're not quite sure how many red roses we sold yet. We know how many pink, and our question asks, how many pink and red roses did the City Flower Shop sell? So we have to figure out our total amount for pink and red roses. Okay, so step 1 would be, well, I don't know how many red roses we sold altogether. So that's going to be my step 1. So when you see multi-step word problems, that means it's going to take more than one step to solve, 2 or more. Okay, so first we're going to have to figure out, well, what's our total amount of red roses? To do that, we need to add 14,594 plus 7,857. So just like we were doing in our last lesson, we start with our smaller place value, work our way over. If we have more than 10 in a certain place value, we bundle 10 and move it over to make one of the larger value to the left. Okay. So 4 plus 7, that's going to give me 7. You can, like I said in last video, count up. If you need something to count with to help you keep track, that's fine. So 7 plus 4 gives us 11. I'm going to take 10 over, which leaves me with 1. 9, 10 plus 5 gives me 15. Again, more than 10. I'm going to bundle 10 and make one more to the left, but it's going to leave me with 5. So I have 8, 9 plus 5, or you can go 1 plus 5 is 6 plus 8. Either way, whenever you can make numbers easily in your brain, that's usually my route. That's what I do. So I'm going to say 8, 9 plus 5. That's going to leave me with 14. So 14, I can bundle 1, bundle 10, and make one more here, which is going to leave me with 4. Bring my comma down. 7 plus 1 more gives me 8. Plus 4 more gives me 12. Bundle 10, move it over. It's going to leave me with 2. And then 1, 2. So this number represents our red roses. So we can say, well, this together was equal to 22,451 red roses. But our question said, how many pink and red roses did they sell all together? So we have one more step before we get to our final answer. And we're going to have to add our red roses total to our pink roses total. So that's going to look like 22,451 plus my pink roses. Making sure my numbers are lined up. When we get to the bigger numbers, it's easy to shift them just enough to where you're like, is this the 10s or is this the 1s? Where am I supposed to be adding? So it's really important that you line your numbers up really nicely. Nice and neat, okay? 1 plus 4 gives me 5. 9 plus 5 gives me 14. 5, if I bundle, if 4 plus 1 gives me 5, 5 and 5 gives me 10. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2 plus 1 gives me 3. So all together, they sold 37,045 pink and red roses on Valentine's Day. So also when we're doing these word problems, you can easily draw out those 4 squares that we've been using to help you kind of pull apart the problem as well. Okay, let's do one more. All right, so our last one and our next one has one more extra step. So if I had you guys in class, we would definitely be pulling out that 4 square to solve, okay? But for time reasons, I'm not going to do the 4 square, but in small groups this week or interventions, we'll be using 4 squares for these problems. So last year, Big Bill's department store sold many pairs of footwear. 118,214 pairs of boots were sold. 37,092 more pairs of sandals than boots were sold. And 124,417 more pairs of sneakers than pairs of boots were sold. How many pairs of footwear were sold last year? There's a lot going on, right? So we're going to go back, we're going to look at what's important, and we're going to break it down, okay? So the first thing it gave us was the amount of boots. So we know that they sold 118,214 pairs of boots. So that's what we're going to document first. So I know that we have boots, and I know that total already. And it was 118,214. Just knocked the bear over. Okay. So then our next piece of information that they gave us was 37,092 more pairs of sandals than boots were sold. Okay. So I have my sandals. They told me that it was more than the boots. So just like our last problem, I can show, well, I know that they sold at least that much, plus that additional amount of 37,092. Okay, and I know because my tape diagram is the same, that this has the same value of 118,214. Oh, that's really small. Sorry, you guys can't see that. Okay. And then we also had sneakers. And the sneakers, the information about the sneakers that we have is it was 124,417 more sneakers than boots. Okay. So we can show, again, if I have my sneakers, it's still telling me more than the boots. So we know that it sold at least 118,214, but it told us that it sold more, and it was 124,417 more than the boots. Okay. So looking at this, there's a few different ways you can solve this. But because we're just focusing on addition, that's the math we're going to use to solve. Okay. We already know how many boots we sold, but we need to find out how many sandals. So that's going to be step 1. So we're going to have to add 118,214 plus 37,092. Okay. Starting with our smaller unit, 4 plus 2, 6. 1 plus 9, 10. Remember, I'm carrying the 10 over, which leaves me with nothing. 2 plus 1 gives me 3. 8 plus 7, think of those common numbers that you know. 7 and 7 gives me 14, plus 1 more, 15. Carry the 1, bring down the 5. 3, 4, 5. 1 doesn't, we don't have any other 100,000, so we just bring it down. So this is our sandals total. Okay, so we can say, well, this, our sandals, is 155,306. All right, so now I know my boots total, my sandals total, but I don't know my sneakers yet. So that's our next step. So I'm going to add these two together to get my total amount of sneakers. 124,417. And you could totally be doing this with me on your own whiteboard or paper, doing it with me, double checking your work as we go. Okay, so we're going to start with our ones place. 7 plus 4 gives me 11. 1, 2, 3. 4 and 2 plus 2 gives me 6. Bring down my comma. 8 plus 4 is going to give me 12. Carry the 1, bring down my 2. 1, 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so 242,631 is our sneakers total. I still don't know how many shoes they sold altogether. So our last step is we have to add all 3 totals. A couple different ways you can do it. You can add 2 at a time. You can add these 2 together and then add your boots. Or we could just slide them all up together and do 3 numbers and adding them. It depends on where you feel your level is at, okay? I'm gonna add these 2 first and then add my boots into it, okay? So because I have my totals here, I'm gonna clear this out so I have room to work. So I'm gonna add my sneakers and sandals together first. That's 242,631 plus 155,306. Okay. 6 plus 1, 7. 3 plus 0, 3. 6 plus 3, 9. 5 plus 2, 7. 5 plus 4, 9. 2 plus 1, 3. We didn't have to carry anything over. Okay, so this is our sneakers and sandals, but I still need my boots in there. So I'm going to take this total, lots of steps in this problem, and add my boots, 118,214. Okay, so our last step, and we're going to get our answer. You should be a pro with addition if you are doing this with me, because we've had to do a lot of big numbers. Okay, 7 plus 4 gives me 11. 3, 4, 5. 9 plus 2 gives me 11. Carry your 1, bring down your 1, comma. I have 7 plus 1 gives me 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. Carry my 1, bring down my 6. 9, 10, 11. Carry my 1, bring down my 1. 3, 4, 5. So the total amount of the boots, sandals, and sneakers that they sold was 516,151. Definitely a multi-step problem. I think we had, let's see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 different steps to get to our final answer. All right, so we'll keep working on multi-step word problems with addition this week. Let me know if you need help or have questions, and we will see you guys soon. Keep being awesome. You guys rocked it today.